So in this video, I want to show you the best way to set up and take down a pickleball net. Following this method, you can really do it in just a few minutes, as we'll time this so you can see. But before that, let me show you this particular net and describe some of the components. So there are really two different kinds of nets. This is, something that I just picked up from Amazon. It is just over $100. It's not very expensive. The components are obviously the net itself and then all the metal pieces. So these are the end piece, as you can tell, on either side. And then there are a bunch of tubes that make up the bottom of the net. Now, there are really two different kinds of tubing. The ones that I have, it's cylindrical, circle. Some of them are flat. And, I think the cylindrical ones give you equal strength on both directions, whereas a flat one gives you strength on the horizontal one. So they don't flex this way, in theory, to keep the net straighter across. But I find that I personally like the tubular better, but not a huge deal. The centerpiece is one of the key pieces. So you need to find that. You want to attach these two pieces together. And the way the centerpiece holds up the tubing, depending on, again, the construction. The tubular kind tends to want you to thread one piece through the hole. The flat kind usually have a bracket, and then you just push the flat piece on top of it. The last thing I want to show you is, if you look at these pieces, so the end piece has a bend. That's how you get it from the base up to the net level. All the other ones obviously have a narrow end and a regular size end, but there's one that has two narrow ends. This one, right? Because we need to join the two sides together, basically. All right, so let's start the assembly. I usually leave everything towards the center of the court line so that it reaches both sides equally, if that makes sense. And I have the pieces laid out. So one thing I want to do, which I already did because of the introduction, is I put the center piece together, so have that ready somewhere near the center. And then I also want to find the one tube that has the two narrow sides, so just get it ready. So here I go. So I'm taking one of the ends and going to pick up two pieces, start assembling from this end. Now I have done this a few times obviously, so I know how far this needs to sit from the sideline. So this is about right. And then I need the end piece. This is the piece that starts the whole thing. So end piece goes in. The next piece. The next piece. So I'm working my way towards the center, and I'm almost there. So I'm going to take whatever piece, the center piece usually makes sense, through the middle. Then join this. So this is the key trick here at this point. Make sure it's lined up about right, and then have the center support piece in place, because this will hold up the entire assembly. Otherwise, it's going to start falling apart when I'm too far away. So I'm going to keep going. Right, I have 3 more pieces to go, and then the end piece on the very end. So I'm just going to continue this path. You can see it is hanging, which is great. So it'll get a little trickier at this point. So I'm going to hold on to it with my hand. And that should not have happened. So I'm going to start here. Hold on to this with my hand. Attach the final piece. And then that is the most difficult part. So again, the key is having this part in place, let me finish the whole thing a single person. Next part is the net. So the net should be prepared when you take them down. But for now, I'm just going to unroll this to show you what's going on here. And you notice the net is basically folded into two with a twist in the middle. So I'll show you how to get that from the tear down, but for now, since this is basically ready, I'll take one end, insert into the end, and this set has this locking pins which are great, so it actually holds its direction. Don't tighten this yet. Same on the other side. And then both ends are in. Attach the center pole. Again, different brands, the center has a different design, but basically there's some kind of structure, in this case a thin rod, that goes in to give you the right height. And then there is a hole that this rod goes into. So basically we're almost done. There's some Velcro here that I can use to attach it to the base. More importantly, you want to tighten both ends. And that's it. So I'm doing this slower as I'm still trying to explain what's going on. I bet if we check the clock, this is a pretty fast assembly. So I want to show you the tightening of the net part. The way this strap works, if you have it set up wrongly, it doesn't provide enough tension. So this is done the right way. And let me loosen this to show you what's going on. So the tape starts from one side, it goes into the buckle and then back out. So this is a kind of an S, and then have this thing come around. If you do this on both ends, there'll be enough tension. What happens is sometimes this is not thread through here, and if you just try to do it, let's see if I can do it this way, it's not the same, right? So not just a loop, but it should go around the pole, into the buckle, come back out, and then that can get you a much tighter, shorter pull. That is how do you do the end piece. So now at the end of the game, let's disassemble the net. And same thing, I'm just going to disassemble it and I talk through it at the same time. And most importantly, I want to show you how to fold the net up at the end so that it's ready for use, untangled, next time. So here we go. I'm going to start by just loosening both ends, so no tension. Right, that helps. Sometimes it helps to put this strap back in. Key number one is do not take the net off the end post. So get the end post out, but keep the post in the net. Centerpiece. This end, so I'm going to put this back here. So the net is out. What you want to do is to fold the net in half. Trying to keep this end together and flip it over so that there's an X in the middle, and just roll the net up. It's obviously easier to start rolling on this side, but if you're used to this, you can actually roll from both sides. But since I'm here by myself, I'm just going to roll from this side. And that is the net part. So for the metal part, again, it's pretty obvious. I'm just going to take it apart from the sides. All right, I'm trying to hold on to it to make it easier for myself. 1, 2, 3. And of course, I'm here. The centerpiece is here. Take this off. The other set. And then don't forget to take the center support off. And then we're done. So just put this back in the bag and we're ready to leave. So as I said, with a little bit of planning, even with one person, the net can be put together and taken down very, very quickly. Give it a try.